The labor market has grown to become a giant puzzle, which, if you try to solve, could result in a headache. Weekly, hundreds of job openings are churned out, and yet the unemployment rate doesn't seem to drop, with more and more people complaining about not being able to get jobs. The question is, if companies are desperate for workers like they claim, why can't anyone find a job? Before we continue, do like this video and subscribe if you haven't. As far as Allison Boyd was concerned, she did everything right in her search for a job. After taking a break from working at a job early on in the pandemic to try her hands at entrepreneurship, she decided to go back to work and search for a new full-time position at the start of 2023. According to her story, she applied for hundreds of positions, relying on nearly a dozen job boards, researching potential employers, and writing personalized cover letters to accompany her resume. For the most part, she got no response from employers, regardless of how qualified she was. This left her confused. Being self-employed in a terrible economy was bad enough, but not being able to get paid employment? It certainly couldn't get any worse, she thought. Allison was stressed both financially and psychologically. Eventually, she got a job in a field where she had 10 years worth of experience, but it took 6 months of intense job hunting, trickles of sweat, and a few drops of tears. Meanwhile, headlines advertised hundreds of jobs opening weekly, and many employers said that they were doing everything in their power to fill up these vacancies, which is really confusing. Clearly, the situation makes no sense. Better put, 0 sense to be factual. Because there's an inconsistency between what is believed about jobs and what is actually happening. The result? A disconnected environment that just doesn't add up. For example, the Bureau of Labor Statistics says there are 8.4 million potential workers who are unemployed. But it also says there are a record 10.9 million jobs open. And although these rates keep rising, the rate at which unemployed people are getting jobs is lower than it has ever been. So why is it so hard for people to get jobs if there are jobs? It can be really frustrating when, as a job seeker, you see all of these articles about how companies are in dire need of help and how there's all these job openings. Yet, you see your good enough resume and those of other highly qualified candidates left unattended. Now, the truth is, the fact that applicants are sometimes ghosted by employers is nothing new, of course. But lately, questions have been raised about whether job postings are reflective of actual open positions or instead ghost jobs, listings that employers are no longer actively hiring or recruiting for. According to a recent survey conducted by a lending firm on about 1,000 hiring managers, 40% of managers have had a job posting open for over 2 to 3 months. 1 in 5 managers said they don't plan to fill their current open job positions anytime soon. And half of managers said they keep job postings up because they're always open to new people, even if they're not actively recruiting. Clearly, the number of job openings reported in the media is inaccurate, as companies strategically keep positions open to create the illusion of high demand. Sometimes they leave listings open with dreams that the perfect unicorn candidate might apply. Other times, they might post jobs to pacify their exhausted employees and demonstrate that they are indeed at least trying to hire more help, or to make them feel threatened and stop complaining about the job. Also, companies post listings for jobs that, in theory, they always need even if they don't have the budget to hire. That way they have a pipeline to leverage when they're ready. No matter how smart it sounds, at the end of the day, it turns out to be quite unnecessary because, well, candidates don't know about it. They apply in good faith, ignorant of this strategy, and when the company eventually calls them, she said, they're either not interested, have moved on, or are annoyed. Another reason people are not getting jobs is the low quality of available openings. Low-skilled, low-paying positions at big companies like Amazon, big box retailers, and delivery companies contribute to the high turnover and constant job openings. And anywhere you go in the United States right now, you're going to encounter help wanted signs. But just because a bar or restaurant or gas station wants a worker doesn't mean a worker wants to work for them. The millions of jobs available aren't necessarily millions of jobs people want. A lot of what people are seeing are low-paying jobs with unpredictable or not worker-friendly scheduling practices that don't come with benefits or long-term stability. And those are not the types of jobs that anyone is eager to take on. Also, a survey of workers actively searching for a job on FlexJobs, which is a jobs website that focuses on remote and flexible work, found that about half of job seekers said they were not finding the right jobs to apply for. Some 46% of respondents said they were only finding jobs that are low paying, while 41% said there weren't enough openings in their preferred profession. Now, applicants are not the only ones complaining about not being able to find jobs. Employers also claim to be in a fruitless search for workers. A major culprit here is the modern way of hiring. As much as employers say they're looking hard for employees, they're often not looking in the right places or in the right ways. This is because these days, human resource departments are leaning too heavily on technology to weed out candidates, or they're just not being creative enough in terms of how they consider applications and what type of people could be the right fit. While hiring software and the proliferation of platforms like Indeed, LinkedIn, and ZipRecruiter have made it super easy for employers to list countless positions, job seekers are also able to send in countless resumes. But the problem is, they've also made it super easy for those resumes to never be seen. As far as artificial intelligence-powered software are concerned, they simply scan resumes for certain keywords and criteria. And when it can't find them, the software just filters those people out. Interestingly, when this method of recruiting started, everyone thought it was the best thing that happened to the job market. But the truth is, it's not favorable to job seekers. Sometimes what the software is scanning for doesn't even make sense, as the Wall Street Journal recently noted. It'll look for registered nurses who also know computer programming when really they just need data entry. And then applicants are over there thinking they're talking to another human being when they write a description of the experiences without knowing they're speaking with dumbwaiters. They start explaining something at length or describe it the way they imagined it, which doesn't fit with what the system is expecting, simply because of different choices of words. To make things worse, companies have the habit of adding to job descriptions rather than subtracting from them, meaning that job requirements have increased beyond people's ability to actually meet them. In the past, companies had a practice of training employees and sending them abroad to take courses that would help their careers grow and equip the workers with all that the company needs for growth. But this meant that individuals would remain committed to the companies and build their entire careers there, even though it is never formally stated. As time went by, employees decided that they did not want to build their entire life around a particular company and would like to get opportunities elsewhere. Because, truth be told, people that switch jobs every 2 years or more on average earn 50% more than their peers that stay loyal to a company. This made the investments companies made on their workers seem useless, since workers left after being trained. So companies stopped offering on-the-job training to their workers and still demanded the quality of work only trained people can deliver. To create a balance, they started employing only trained people. These days, people are expected to come onto a job and have the experience, the skills, and everything, which is nearly impossible. Now, the endless quest to make hiring efficient has rendered it inefficient. Candidates who are great fits for 90% of the job are screened out because they're not perfect for the other 10%. So, some carefree recruiters who receive tons of resumes only look at the first few and hire the people they can get the fastest instead of the people who are the best fit. Just like that, the labor market has become a dreadful puzzle. What do you think can be done about the situation? Do let us know in the comments. With that, we have come to the end of this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Where money matters, we'll see you on the next one.